I'm thinking the sound works, but we'll see. Okay, maybe there it is. Okay, so I had to get rid of the top screen because I was working on something. Oops. I see my pen in the background. She's crawling around. Okay, so let me see if everybody else knows. Over here working on stuff. So today is just a live and hangout stream. Nothing major. I haven't been on for the last few days. I've had some stuff going on that I've had to work on with my house for this stupid inspection that was coming up, that was done. Well, they only came in and looked at the kitchen. That was the weirdest inspection I've had done so far. But anyways, it led me to finding some interesting things like sandalwood for carpeting. It smells really, really good. And whatnot. So let me share this out a little bit. I don't know if YouTube is telling people I have a live stream right now. Probably not by the looks of it. So I have to wait and see if it'll share the live stream. So let me do this. Sharing. I see there's 2 people now. I'm still waiting for more people to join. If y'all can see the penny in the background, say yay! You want to come up here? Okay, come here. Oh, you want to get up here, huh? Say, I'm going to get up here. I want to get involved. Got to see what's going on up here. Can you say hi? Say hi over here. Say hi over here. You want to see what's on the desk? What's up there? What's up there? So I'm just sitting here waiting for more people to join. It seems like YouTube takes its time in putting out any notifications that a channel is live, or that people are live, or that they're doing any videos. So we'll see. I'm sharing this some more. Well, we'll see. Because so far there's only one person. So, if anybody's been wondering where I've been for the past week, I have been busy taking care of some things in my house and getting some stuff done. I had a major inspection, supposedly, that had to be done, and, well, that ended up being them knock on the door, walk in, look at the kitchen, and leave. So that was the strangest thing that I've had happen. But everything that I needed to have done is done. How y'all like my picture that I have for the thing? Let me see if I can show you. I'm learning AI. So this is AI. I think it's cool looking. I created it. So if y'all want to know, yes, I do have Earthquake 3D up. And we are looking at earthquakes that have occurred for the last day. We have USGS, EMSC, NR Canada, and USGS. So if you are interested in earthquakes, then those are the earthquakes that have occurred today.
Hi, Grandma.
What do you need? You're walking in my room with the door closed. Would there be a reason why the door might be closed? Do I need to go get your mom? Then shut the door. So y'all might see a Skylar walk in and out. I am not trying to do anything yet for this live stream until there's people here. So I am just hanging out. And in fact, I'm going to remove that. So I'm not going to be on camera until there are people on the live stream. So, as long as there's nobody here, I'm just going to let it run the Earthquake 3D. So, enjoy that. So you guys, I am thinking about quitting YouTube. My channel is not growing. And there's a whole bunch of reasons why. My channel is not growing. Even though I put out video after video after video. I can't continue to do that. YouTube is not paying me to be a YouTuber. And in fact, they are withholding from me. So, you know, the point that I started YouTube a long time ago was because I enjoyed it. But YouTube is also a business. And as I'm disabled, any extra income that I get helps me to get by. So when I am not making any type of income from making videos and putting up videos and putting my time and my effort into making videos, then I start feeling that it's not really worth it, and maybe that this platform is the wrong one for my channel. I also had thought for a while that it was because I'm a woman, which might be why I am not getting the views or subscribers on my channel. I have been a YouTube channel since 2011. I have also moderated other people's channels. I have run 50 Facebook groups, and I've done quite a bit to support the YouTube community. But there does come a time where you have to realize what's not working, and if your channel is not successful, then it can become something that can make you not want to do it anymore. And I've put a lot of effort and a lot of time into my YouTube channel and into making videos. There were people that were upset because my videos were too long. Then there are people who want short videos and didn't like the long videos. And then there's people who want the long videos, but they don't want the short ones. You can't make everybody happy, no matter how hard you try. It just doesn't work. So then you try to decide what you can do to make your channel more successful. For years, I have talked about earthquakes, volcanoes. I have gone over different disasters that have happened in the world. I don't tell a whole lot of people I am college educated. I don't want to be seen as a know-it-all. And at the same time, there are other channels that are better than mine. And I watch a lot of the channels. But to be honest, I get to a point of where I'm burned out talking about the same thing all the time. So that was why I changed the name of my channel to NCWQ Worldwide News and Disasters Explorer, so that I could do other things besides just earthquakes. And it does take a lot of patience and a lot of time. And I do have that time that I put into doing the things that I have learned. I have also thought about starting another channel, but on Saturdays I tend to do my update videos, which is the live stream, chat, and hangout. During the week, I do live streams where I talk to and look at things that are going on around the world. If you have suggestions, I'm always open to suggestions as to what you think I could actually do to make this a better channel. I am not above other people's suggestions and input. It helps me to know what you, the viewer, want to watch. Also, like I stated, my channel is a business. It is not just a channel where I started without the thoughts of making a passive income. But when I'm not making an income from making YouTube videos, after having been a YouTube channel since 2011, I'm going to tell y'all something. The last pay I ever had on my YouTube channel was in 2022. It is a fight to monetize videos, to get enough views, and to grow a channel. It is a fight. And, I think that science is not the biggest thing on YouTube. To be honest, not a lot of people like to hang out for the science. Yes, I think that they like to know what's going on when it has something to do with affecting them. But at the same time, a lot of people don't see science as interesting as I do. So that's fine, because that tells me that I have the subscribers that I need and not all the ones that I want. So that's fine with me. Richard says he's here but not home. Greetings, Sleeping Volcano. Welcome. Richard Smith, I can dance in snow in shorts and t-shirt for everyone. You're going to put that in video. And yes, I had my camera up for a few minutes, but I took it down. I may put it back up in a few minutes. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. Right now I'm looking at what's going on around the world. It looks like South Africa's taking quite a bit of earthquakes. That looks like Rwanda. Looks like Rwanda's had a 4.5. And also I can see that the South Sandwich Islands has been hit, I believe, twice. I was expecting that one, but I'm still expecting the end of Argentina to see an earthquake. And around this area where I'm pointing my mouse at, I'm expecting to see something there. Mexico still looks a bit quiet, so we may see something there. This is kind of abnormal to see all the way over here in Texas by the Gulf of Mexico, so we may see another Gulf of Mexico earthquake. Let's take a look at Oregon Live earthquake map. So what I was saying is I run my channel as a business. And like I said, if I'm not making income from my channel, it's making it rougher on me. Okay, so this one was a 3.0 on January 1st, 2025 in Brownlee, Nebraska. Interesting. That's abnormal. Okay, so there was also a 2.8 on the 3rd in Pangburn, Arkansas. But if we look up here in New York City, there was an itty-bitty earthquake, and it was a 0.7 in Califon, New Jersey. So it looks as though we're starting to see some activity over here on the East Coast. But I would expect to see some activity, of course, around Tennessee, which is our normal area, possibly Ohio, South Carolina, and possibly Georgia. Those are the areas that we should be seeing some earthquakes, and that's because those areas are the frequently hit areas. However, I would think also we may see some earthquakes back on the North Carolina, Virginia border. So, the news lately has been crazy, huh? I was looking through the news at everything that has happened the last few days. 2025 is figuratively off to a bang, isn't it? If we're looking at the T attacks, well, T attack, and then we're looking at what occurred in Nevada. I'm not sure what to think about what occurred in Nevada. I have watched the video that was on Twitter as far as an American soldier who is still, or was still, in the military. I just don't see that somebody who's fighting for this country is going to be one to go take his life in a self-driving car. See, That's one thing about those vehicles. They are equipped to be self-driving. So what if, we put it this way, the person that's in the vehicle, since the son, they found, and this is from what I have overheard, does not share the same DNA as the person that was in the vehicle. Could it be possible that the person in the vehicle is not whom they believe it is? And maybe the information was left in the vehicle to throw off the investigation. That is my thoughts, and I only have those thoughts because I studied criminal justice, latent evidence, and criminal justice technology. And those were the things that hit me strangely when I was watching and researching. Me either, Richard. Me either. Those electronic vehicles have a means of catching on fire and exploding. Especially if they get salt water in the batteries, and they're harder to put the fire out. But it was the thought that crossed my mind. And then you have somebody in Virginia who was arrested with 150 pipe bombs. One of the largest caches, I believe they said that they had found. So we're looking at a lot of different things going on, occurring now in 2025. I will tell you this much though, 2025 has started out good. I slept my way into 2025. I fell asleep at about 9 o'clock at night, and I didn't wake up until 8 o'clock the next morning. So, Happy New Year's! I was sleeping. And then New Year's Day, I didn't do an update. I was going to, however, we had some internet issues, so I did not have a live stream. And that is one thing that, if there is no internet, there is no live stream. So we had no internet that day. And I didn't feel like sitting there fighting with it, waiting for the internet to come back on. So anyway, we're also dealing with very cold weather. It's not super bad considering that today is 45 degrees, but at night it has been 29 degrees and less. And my heater has not wanted to stay caught up. So I froze last night. Even though I kept trying to be warm, I was like, not enough blankets. Which would have been great. So anyways, how are you all doing? I hope y'all are doing well. I hope that your New Year's has been well. Let me turn back on my camera for a little bit. Y'all can see I don't have a headset on. And I'm hoping that y'all can hear me. So if you can hear me and I'm nice and loud, please give me a 5x5. Let me stick this over here. There we go. As y'all can see, I've removed everything from my wall. So I'm trying to think of things to put on my wall. Since I went through busting my butt to make sure my apartment was clean for an inspection. Oh yeah, we did walls and floors and you name it. We were busy getting stuff done. And for them to just walk in and check the kitchen, I thought, man, that's some inspection. So I've turned my apartment from I've lived here 9 years. So I turned it back into rent ready. Got everything out that I didn't need, cleaned. And for what? For them to walk in and say, oh, the only thing we need to check is the kitchen. I was like, wow, that's it? So, Richard Smith says, sitting in parking lot looking at snow. I wish I was looking at snow. There is no snow out there. It is a nice, it looks like a fall day. The trees are pretty much green and bare. The grass is pretty much faded. If you want to put it that way, it's faded. Let me see. I gave you an idea. It says 24, but it is 42. Feels like 37. Is 20. It's going to be 26 degrees tonight. Tomorrow will be 49 degrees with 40 overnight. Then Monday will be 59 with it being 31. And on these days here it'll be in the 40s except for Thursday. But every night will be in the 20s except for Friday, which will be 35 degrees. So yeah, it's cold. And then on top of that we have a fire warning. You can see the fire warning says special weather statement issued January 4th at 4:24 a.m. Eastern Time by NWS Raleigh, North Carolina. Gusty winds to 20 to 25 miles per hour from the west-northwest combined with relative humidities of 25 to 30% will produce conditions that will be more favorable for adverse fire behavior today. Outdoor burning is discouraged. Please refer to your local burn permitted authority on where you can burn. So for those who have fire pits and stuff and burning fire outside for trash, right now is not the time to be doing so. Sure, Richard, I'd love to see. You going to call? I'm going to have a weather update from Richard. Richard's weather update. Dun 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 dun. Eventually. Let's see. Here we go. Okay, hang on one second, you guys. All right, let's get you over here. Hello.
Hello, how are you doing today?
Doing well. How are you?
Oh, it could be better. I'm going to turn this around and show you this snow coming down here.
Oh, wow. How cold is it?
The car is saying -4. I don't know if you can see it. No, you can't. Yeah, but -4 Celsius.
Oh, that's cold.
Yeah, the black car shows it off pretty good. You can see it pretty good through the black car there.
Oh, it's cold.
I'll put it this way. Yeah, I don't know how much we're going to get. I hope it's not too much, but it says it's going to be snowing for all weekend and probably into Monday and Tuesday maybe. So.
Well, I hope you enjoy it. Are you going to build a snowman?
Oh, I might.
You might?
I just might build one to get Teresa out there and build one here after. And if we do, I'll get a picture of it and send it on.
Awesome. I'd like to see that. Did you get all your Christmas stuff down?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we have it down before New Year's. We always take everything down and pack it back away almost the day after.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing the weather with us. We appreciate it. You guys, Richard is in Nova Scotia. So he's up
and
there.
Everybody have a wonderful day.
Anything else?
Nope.
Have a good one. Thank you.
Peace.
Always nice to see Richard on our channel. Okay, I'm going to put the earthquakes back. So anyways, that was fun. Thank you. So I'm hoping that y'all can hear me better. Just so y'all know, my camera is acting as my microphone again because my headset is not working correctly with my computer. I do not know why. It is brand new, but every time I'm using it, it's turned the sound down. So every time I've used it, the sound has turned down on it, and I have not been able to I'm going to fix something here. Okay, so I just fixed the name of the video. So if anybody's coming here, they're going to be able to see that we're running Earthquake 3D. I am going to start letting the Earthquake 3D play more often, and let it be up for people that want to come over and want to see Earthquake 3D. Since it is a paid-for version that I paid for, I figure people who don't want to buy it and don't want to put it on their computer will like being able to see where earthquakes are happening for the day. Let's see how many people are in the chat. So there's not that many that are in the chat today. So one of the things I like to do on my live stream is to look at an island. So let's check out what island we are going to look at today. And I'm going to find one real quick. So I am looking for an island, and let's see if I find one. I think I've done that one before. So that's not what I'm going to look at. Richard, you got a suggestion for an island today? I am going to do one, I believe. We are going to go look at Jekyll Island. So, some people may have heard of Jekyll Island. Some may not have. So our island today is Jekyll Island. Let me get the coordinates up here for you. If I can do it. All right, we are going to Jekyll Island. And this is Jekyll Island. Let me see. I think I want to put it on my other Google Earth. So hang on, do it this way. All right, we got it here. This is Jekyll Island. So, Jekyll Island is located off the coast of the United States in Georgia in Glenn County. It is one of the Sea Islands and one of the Golden Isles of the Georgia Barrier Islands. The island is owned by the state of Georgia and run by a self-sustaining, self-governing body. It was long used seasonally by indigenous people of the region, the Gaul and the Makama. The indigenous peoples of the area, when Europe first reached the area, were killed or forced to leave by the English of the province of Carolina and their native allies and by raids of the French pirates. Plantations were developed on the island during the British colonial period. A few structures still standing are made of labby, a coastal building material used crushing oyster shells. The island was developed in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. It was evacuated during World War II by order of the U.S. government. In 1947, the state of Georgia acquired all the properties for security and preservation. A popular tourist destination, the island has beaches frequented by vacationers. Guided tourists and landmark historic districts are available. Bike trails, walks along the beaches and sandbars, and summer waves, a water park, are among the active attractions. The historic district features numerous impressive and ambitious buildings from the late 19th and early 20th century. The island is also full of wildlife consisting of many different mammals, reptiles, and birds living and breeding in the island salt marshes. In 2018, Architectural Digest named Jekyll Island one of the 50 most beautiful small towns in America. The island was listed as a census designated place prior to the 2020 census with a population of 866. Jekyll Island is one of the 4 Georgia barrier islands that pave causeways that has a paved causeway to allow access to the mainland by car. It has 5,700 acres of land, including 4,400 acres of solid earth and 240-acre Jekyll Island Club Historic District. The rest is tidal marshlands, mostly on the island's western shore. The island measures about 7 miles wide, has 8 miles of wide flat beaches on its east shore, with sand packed hard enough for easy walking or biking, and boasts 20 miles of hiking trails. Like the other Golden Isles, Jekyll is made mostly of older Pleistocene landmass and smaller sections of younger Holocene land. The climate is humid, subtropical, with rainfall concentrated in the hottest months. The northern end of the island is a main area that has been affected by human development over the past few hundred years. Earlier settlers and loggers who came onward afterwards developed plantations in this area. They used fallen trees for the construction of ships. In the early 20th century, much of what was considered wild wilderness was developed into golf courses. A short winding road leads to a parking lot in one of the 3 picnic areas on the island. To the west is a vast marsh hammock and a view of Sydney Lanier Bridge. So I believe Sydney Lanier Bridge is right here. And this is Emmy Thompson Memorial Bridge. So this is the bridge here. A 480-foot tall cable stay bridge on Highway 17. A large fishing pier extends northwest from the picnic area. To the east, a bridge crosses the Clam Creek in front of the inland marshland. In front of an inland marsh to connect the picnic area to the North End Beach and Driftwood Beach. Hang on 1 second. Where are you going?
Store.
For what?
Just grabbing some fire seeds.
Okay. These beaches are characterized by another tidal creek emptying into St. Simon's Sound and a boneyard of pine and water oak tree roots. The two-story house built from tabby in 1742 stands along the North Riverview Road. So let's see if we can find the two-story house. Let me see here. So the frame is intact while the roof, doors, and windows are gone. Tabby was an indigenous material developed along the coast that was formed from crushed oyster shells, lime, and water to make a kind of cement. It is featured in several historic sea island structures dating back to the antebellum plantation area. So let me show you a picture of the house. So this is the house here. That's the tabby house. The house was occupied by Major William Horton during the British colonial period. He developed Georgia's first brewery, and the ruins of which are 100 yards down the road. The remains of the house have been meticulously preserved over the past 100 years as an example of coastal Georgia building techniques. It is one of the oldest surviving buildings in the state. Across the street from the Horton House ruin is a De Bignon Cemetery. So let me see here. We're looking for a cemetery. So this is the road here. This is Jekyll Island Causeway. So I'm not seeing the house here. However, this is where it shows that it should be. And hang on a minute. This is North Riverview Road. No, that's not. This is Riverview Road here. So it would be along here. Probably back in here somewhere, so that's why we're not seeing it. There's the Moss Cottage. We're still on Riverview Road here. So I'm looking for it. This is Riverview Drive here. Depends on which one's north, I guess. There's the Horton House right here. This is the Horton House that we're talking about right here. That's the Horton House. Okay, the house was occupied by Major William Horton during the British colonial period. He developed Georgia's first brewery, the ruins of which are 100 yards away down the road. The remains of the house have been meticulously preserved over the past 100 years as an example of coastal Georgia's building techniques. It is one of the oldest surviving buildings in the state. across the street from the Horton House ruins is a Du Bignon Cemetery, which is over here. And you can see it on this side right here. Established by the next family to own the house and much of the island for generations, its tabby walls surround the graves of 5 people who died in the 19th century. Oops. Just across the street from the entrance to the Clam Creek picnic area is the campground, an 18-acre facility in a cleared maritime forest. The campground has running water for restrooms, showers, and laundry, as well as a store and bike rentals. So let's see here. I'm looking for the campground. There's Jekyll Island Campground right here. On the southern end of the island was virtually unused by settlers and visitors until the 19th century, when the Army installed a gun mount on the southern and during the Spanish-American War. The installation looked over St. Andrews Sound towards Little Cumberland. In the second half of the 20th century, homes and motels were built by the Jekyll Island Authority along the northern beaches of the island. The multiple parallel dunes on the southernmost tip are a result of sand from the eroding north beaches traveling southward and being deposited in a recurved spit. So let's see here. That's Clam Creek area, so we're going to this end of the island here. And this is Camp Jekyll, Georgia. This is Jekyll Point. We have houses here. This is where the gun mounts are, right here. The picnic area on the ocean side of the island features plenty of picnic tables, a full bathroom with showers, and a boardwalk to traverse this 20-foot high dune ridge on the beach. The dune is needed to protect the wooded area interior of the island from erosion due to storms. This area was repaired in 1983 with bulldozers pushing new primary dunes into place to correct the damage caused by 30 years of beachgoers trampling over the enormous dunes to the beach. So this is St. Andrews Beach here. And I'm not sure exactly which side they're talking about, but I believe there's a viewing platform here. So there's a viewing platform there. So that may be the areas that they're talking about. Glory Beach. Access to this beach is by way of a long boardwalk. It was built in the mid-1980s by the producers of the film Glory. So let's find Glory, if we can find it. That's the fishing pier, Jekyll Island. That's St. Andrews Beach. South Dunes Beach Park. There's the Ocean Club. Great Dunes Beach. Jekyll and Tide, Driftwood Beach. I am not seeing Glory Beach. There's Three Oaks. Okay. The boardwalk recently repaired can be accessed from the soccer complex at the south end of Jekyll Island. So soccer complex. This is the south end of Jekyll Island. There's the soccer complex. So maybe it was here. That says Glory Film Set. So that was right there. This is the soccer complex here. And this is the Glory Film Set. So this is Glory Beach, St. Andrews Beach. The boardwalk passes through a variety of natural habitats ranging from ancient dunes to freshwater sloughs. St. Andrews Picnic Area, this is St. Andrews here, is a picnic area on the intercoastal side of the island. So that would be over here. So this is St. Andrews Beach. And this is the picnic area here. It is the farthest point on the beach from Clam Island. The beach is very popular with fishing birds. Dolphins frequently feed here and travel through the area. They are visible when surfacing for air. The 2008 the Jekyll Island History Museum, the Jekyll Island Authority, and the Friends of the Historic Jekyll Island commemorated the survivors of the slave ship, the Wanderer, the next to last ship documented to transport slaves to the U.S. territory and the prohibited Atlantic slave trade. Clotilda, out of Mobile, Alabama, brought in 110 slaves in July of 1860 and is ranked last. Because the ship was burned and sunk, some of the observers thought accounts of its slave voyage was a hoax, but there is considerable documentation. In January of 2018, a reporter announced finding wreckage in the mud of the Mobile River, which a team of archaeologists had affirmed may be the ruins of the Clotilda. The Wanderer was built in Setauket, New York, as a pleasure boat, but it was acquired by Southerners who opposed the prohibition on the Atlantic slave trade. They had it converted to the Congo and Angola to carry slaves, and the captain purchased more than 500 to take to the U.S. After a 6-week voyage in which more than 100 slaves died, on November 28, 1858, the Wanderer anchored near the southern portion of Jekyll Island. Its crew took 409 to 465 enslaved Africans ashore, smuggling them to the mainland. News of the slave ship set off a wave of outrage. The federal government's effort to prosecute the conspirators was unsuccessful. A public art sculpture was commissioned for the site. It is a 12-foot tall steel sculpture of ship sails, intended to signify the hard nature of slavery. Jekyll Island Club Historic District. In the midsection of the intercoastal side of the island is a designated 240-acre historic district. So let's see if we can find the historic district. And I would believe this would be the area here. So this is historic. This includes most of the buildings erected in the Jekyll Island Club area. They have been carefully preserved. The centerpiece of the grounds is the largest Jekyll Island Club Hotel. So let's see, Jekyll Island Club Hotel. Jekyll Ocean Club is here. Jekyll Island Convention Center is there. There's the Western Jekyll Island Beach Resort is here. Tesla. If you have a Tesla, you can charge it here. The centerpiece of the grounds is a large Jekyll Island Club Hotel, a 2-wing structure that contains numerous suites for rental. The presidential suite contains a 3-story turret on the front of the building. 33 buildings from the late 19th and early 20th centuries surround the hotel. Many are elaborate mansion-sized cottages built by the rich. Some cottages offer rooms for rent for temporary stays. Others have been adapted for use as museums, art galleries, and bookstores. The hotel is listed in the National Register of Historic Places. The historic district itself has been listed as a National Historic Landmark District since 1978. Tram tours originate from the Jekyll Island Museum located on Sable Road, directly across from the historic district. They run several times daily. And guides describe much of the history in this area. In the mid-second millennium, the island now known as Jekyll was near the border between Gaul people and Makama people. Historians have debated whether the town on Guadalquivir was on Jekyll Island or St. Simon Island, and whether the people that lived there late in the 16th century were Gaul or Makama. By early in the 17th century, Guadalquivir was occupied by the Makama. Both the Gaul and Makama became part of the Spanish mission system. In the late 17th century, the Gaul and the Makama were driven out of what is now Georgia by attacks from French pirates and from native allies of the English in the province of Carolina. The survivors resettled in what is now Florida. The men used spears to take fish from the surrounding creeks. The women were experts at native vegetation, gathering nuts and fruit. They made a type of tea from the parched holly leaves. These settlers were said to also have cultivated the three sisters, squash and pumpkin, bean and corn, as well as sunflowers and tobacco that were used for many ritual purposes and celebrations. In 1510, explorers from Spain were the first to land on Jekyll Island, naming it Isla de Balenas, or Whale Island. Later, Juan Ponce de Leon was appointed as the civil governor of this and Spain's other claimed North American territories. In 1562, French explorer Jean Ribault claimed the island for France and renamed it Isle de la Somni. Ribault later surrendered to the Spanish and was executed. The two countries engaged in competition and armed confrontations along Georgia and Florida coasts. After his army swiftly defeated the French, Philip II of Spain immediately had a colony established on Jekyll. More brief conflicts between these two countries along the coastline followed. Spanish priests established missions intending to convert Native Americans to Christianity. No mission is known to have been established on Jekyll. However, the Spanish influenced the island from their mission on St. Simon's Island. After the Westo invasion on the mainland, they began destroying the missions and slaying the Spanish priests, traveling south along the coast. They spared Father Xander de Villa on Jekyll, keeping him as a slave. He was later released to the Spanish in a prisoner exchange. In 1663 to 1665, England established grants to land stretching southward from their Jamestown colony to an area below St. Augustine, Florida. The English allied with the Cherokee people, Creek people, and Yucti tribe. They armed the warriors, ordering them to raid the Spanish and Muskogean settlements on Jekyll in 1861 to 1863. By 1702, the English had driven the Spanish from the entire area. General James Oglethorpe established Georgia as a colony in 1733. He renamed the island in honor of his friend Joseph Jekyll, who had contributed £600 towards the founding of the colony. For many years, including the club era, the island was spelled as Jekyll. The Georgia legislature in 1929 passed legislation to correct the spelling to Jekyll. So the first way they spelled it was Jekyll, and it was corrected to be spelled Jekyll, as used by the former sponsor of the colony. In the late 1730s, General Oglethorpe appointed William Horton to set up a military post in the area to protect Fort Frederica on St. Simon Island. By 1738, Horton had set up a permanent residence on Jekyll Island near what is called the Dubignon Creek. So let me see, where's the Dubignon Creek? So there is a creek here. Well, I know that the Horton house is over here. So, I'm assuming the creek, this is Dubuena's Creek. I don't see a name on that one, so maybe they're talking about this one. Okay, so he set up a permanent residence on Jekyll Island near what is called Dubignon Creek. At his residence, Horton established a plantation that was able to supply the population at Frederica with beef and corn. He depended on the labor of enslaved African Americans. Horton continued to develop his property on Jekyll Island. In 1742, his house was destroyed during Spanish attacks, but he had it rebuilt. He developed the cultivation of new experimental crops on his plantation, including barley and indigo. Horton had his house and outbuildings reconstructed after the attacks using indigenous materials, tabby, a mixture of lime, crushed oyster shells, and water. This strong building material has withstood the test of time throughout the Sea Islands. The external structure of William Horton's two-story house built from tabby is one of the two remaining two-story colonial-era structures in the state of Georgia. William Horton died in 1748 to 1749. His property on Jekyll passed through many hands just before the year of 1800. Christopher Dubignon acquired all of the property of the island. Christopher Dubignon and his family arrived here from France in 1792 as refugees from the violence of the French Revolution against the elite. Dubignon developed a prosperous plantation based on African slavery. After he died in 1825, his son Henry Charles Dubignon inherited the property. Under the new ownership of Henry Charles, the plantation continued to prosper as evidenced in the 1850 census. On November 28, 1858, 50 years after the importation of slaves to the United States was prohibited, the ship the Wanderer landed on Jekyll Island with 465 slaves. This was the next to last successful shipment of slaves to American soil from Africa. By 1860, the plantation on Jekyll had declined in productivity as the markets had changed and the soil became exhausted. By 1862, when Union Army troops arrived, the Dubignon plantation was completely deserted. After the American Civil War ended, the Dubignon family returned to the island. Henry Charles divided the island among his 4 children. In 1875, Eugene Dubignon, a nephew, became owner of property on the island. He inherited the southern third of the island from his father and intended to build a house. Dubignon purchased the rest of the island from his siblings, and with the help of his brother-in-law, Newton Finney, and an investor, Their plan to market the island as a winter retreat for the wealthy came to fruition on February 17, 1886. They decided to construct a clubhouse, which was completed in January of 1888. 53 members purchased shares for $600 each. A limit of 100 members was imposed to preserve the club's exclusivity. From 1888 to 1942, the club opened every January for the winter season, except a few years where there were yellow fever outbreaks. It accommodated some of the world's wealthiest people. Members of their families enjoyed activities such as biking, hunting, horseback riding, and tennis, and frequented the North Beaches. Some of the wealthiest members built their own cottages, mansion-sized residences that are mostly still standing in the 21st century. Even the wealthy endured financial losses during the Great Depression, and the club had financial difficulties. When the United States entered World War II, it ordered the island evacuated for security purposes, ending the era of Jekyll Island Club. After the war in 1947, the state of Georgia bought the island. At the end of November 1910, Senator Nelson W. Aldrich and Assistant Secretary of Treasury A. Piatt Andrew invited 5 of the county's leading financiers, Frank Vanderlip, Henry P. Davison, Arthur Shelton, Benjamin Strong, and Paul Warburg, to a private meeting on Jekyll Island Club to develop recommendations for the central banking system that could respond to financial panics like the Panic of 1907. They produced a plan for 15 self-governing branches distributed over the country, overseen by a national commission that would coordinate policy. Aldrich later submitted this proposal to the National Monetary Commission without mentioning its origins, and a similar federated structure was included in the Federal Reserve Act. The Jekyll Island meeting was not disclosed until 1930, when Senator Carter Grass Okay, let me read that again. The Jekyll Island meeting was not disclosed until 1930, when Senator Carter Glass's claims of credit for the Federal Reserve structure prompted rebuttals from Warburg and other banking experts. Under the administration of Governor Melvin E. Thompson, the state of Georgia gained control of Jekyll Island on October 6 of 1947 for $675,000. The island was initially managed as part of the state park system. However, by 1950, as costs associated with getting the island ready for tourists began to mount, the island was taken out of the state park system. It was organized as a separate authority with the goal of becoming self-sustaining, considered achievable because of its resources and attractions. The Jekyll Island Authority was created in February of 1950 under the direction of Governor Herman Talmadge. It was designed to be a governing board. The board consisted of 9 gubernatorial appointed members and was charged with the operation and care of the island. Black residents of Brunswick petitioned the state for access, and in 1950 a portion of southern Jekyll, renamed Southern Andrews Beach, was designated for blacks, becoming the first public beach in Georgia accessible to African Americans. 5 years later, the state erected the Colored Beach House, which now stands as a historic landmark at Camp Jekyll. The authority placed a convict camp on the island in 1951, and an extension of leased convict system compared to slavery and its abuses. The mostly African American prisoners performed the manual labor needed to prepare the island for public use. They planted landscaping for drainage, dug and built the foundations of motels and neighborhoods, and built the perimeter road. From September 1951 to December 1954, the island was primarily closed to the public. Upon completion of the 6-year causeway project and erection of the drawbridge on December 11, 1954, Jekyll Island officially reopened for public use. The authority was criticized and received negative publicity in the mid-1950s.
The Georgia legislature restructured the authority in 1957, requiring board members to be elected officials. The state attorney general, state auditor, public service commissioner, state parks department director, and secretary of state were all made board members. In the next decade, the authority directed development of motels, houses, and convention center, and a shopping center, as well as the towns at the entrance of the causeway. In the 1970s, the authority began renovating the historic cottages and club hotel in the historic district. During the 1980s, it supervised the construction of the bike paths and reopening of the clubhouse in December of 1987. The legislature reorganized the board membership in 1970s and 1980s. Now it consisted of a commissioner of Georgia Department of Natural Resources and 8 citizens of the state. Some of the later construction projects have included a soccer complex, the Jekyll Island Tennis Center, gaining historic district status and designation as a Natural Historic Landmark in 1978. The opening of the Jekyll Island 4-H Center in 1983. More recently, the authority completed the Georgia Sea Turtle Center. The Georgia Sea Turtle Center aims to rehabilitate and return the cold nature cold stunned and other wounded turtles. The primary species impacted by cold stunning is a critically endangered Kemp Ridley sea turtle. Due to an increasing number of competitive sites, the island has suffered declining numbers of visitors since the late 20th century. In 2006, the authority planned to revitalize the island. In 2007, it selected Linger Longer Communities through a competitive process as its private partner to redevelop a portion of the island. After a year of planning and hosting public forums throughout the state of Georgia, the authority and Linger Longer developed a revitalization plan. It included a renovated convention center with construction of mixed-use public beach. It included 5.2. Ethiopia, 10 kilometers deep. So we've had another earthquake in Ethiopia. Okay, so due to increasing number of competitive sites, the island had suffered declining numbers of visitors since the late 20th century. In 2006, the authority planned to revitalize the island. In 2007, it selected Linger Longer. Okay, so got to that. It included a renovated convention center with construction of a mixed-use public beach village to increase the number and variety of attractions nearby. These will be oriented to pedestrian uses, an area for new retail shops, and public beach promenade. By legislative mandate, 65% of the island is and will remain in a mostly natural state, including parks and picnic areas. A once-per-day toll has been charged for several decades to enter Jekyll Island. In 1985, the daily rate was $1. As of August 2009, it was $5, and later raised to $10 with an annual pass at $100. An annual pass may be purchased at the Guest Information Center before entering the island. So, this island was also used as a film location. Scenes from the films X-Men, First Class, Glory, The Legend of Bagger Vance, Jekyll Island, and The View of Pompey's Head have been filmed on Jekyll Island. In October 27, 2014, Red Zone Pictures filmed here for Magic Mike 2015, starring Channing Tatum. In 2016, a season 7 episode of The Walking Dead was filmed on the island, as well as part of the episode in season 10 in 2019. In 2021, some scenes for The Menu were filmed on Driftwood Beach. The musical version of The Color Purple. The musical version of The Color Purple 2023 shot several scenes on Driftwood Beach in March of 2022. Anyways, you guys, I hope that you've enjoyed this update of the island. I think this is really cool. Let's see if we can get any closer views, because there might be a road view here. So let's see if we can get a road view. Yay, let's go check the house out here. If we can see it. There's the house. That is the Horton house. And then across the street over this way, in this area, is the cemetery. Let's see here, what else can we look at? Oops, let me click that off. That's the cemetery over here. Let's go over here. Let's go to the viewing platform, if we can go there. There, we land here. This is the beach. Oh, there's people. That's really pretty, though. If I remember when I was really little, I think I went to Jekyll Island. But I can't remember. I think I've been there. Let's see here. The wharf. There's the wharf. Welcome to the channel, everybody who is here that's new. I appreciate you being here. And this was the Jekyll Island Guest and Information Center is here. Oh, guess we're gonna land there. And that looks like marshland to me. And you can see the big string bridges over here. Let me see here. I think there's 2 bridges, but I only see 1. And they were talking about 2, but I was looking for the other one. And there's Jekyll Island Fishing Pier. There's the picnic area. So let's go to the picnic area. Check that out. I love that. I believe this is the picnic area here. You got the picnic tables. Picnic tables, so that's the picnic area. And then we have, let's go over here, because this is the Holiday Resort Hotel. So let's go see if we can see it. So there's the hotel.
If you grow up like your
That's pretty big. Looks like it's being renovated and built. Nice playground for the kids. This looks like somewhere I'd like to go visit. Let's go here. That's from the outside of the street. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Somebody's upset. And there is the Jekyll Island Golf Club. Wait, let's go out on the field.
What did you do to her? Nothing. She literally went in there and started crying. See? This is why I hate your kid.
Okay, so anyways, this is the golf club. That looks huge. Okay, you guys, so that was the island. And let's go to, since we have this open right now, let's go see where this 5.0 hit in Ethiopia. Since it's open already. Since we're having a whole swarm of earthquakes over here in Ethiopia. Oh, there's a house there. But this is the area that's being hit. Dibu and Slade. What is this? It's the Holy Trinity Church. Is right there. I don't see a church, but it says the Holy Trinity Church. Interesting. So let's pull up the other Google Earth because I want to see what fault lines are near there. Well, we have volcanoes near here, so we have volcanism. We have the continental rift boundary that runs through here. And we have dolphin stratovolcanoes. So let's look at dolphin stratovolcano. Okay, dolphin stratovolcano is known as Smoking Mountain. And the current status right now is minor activity or eruption notice. So this is coming from Volcano Discovery, and they're saying minor activity or eruption notice, eruption warning. Latest update for January 2025. So, Dolphin Mountain is a young shield volcano at the northwest end of Awash National Park in the Ethiopian Rift Valley. It consists of numerous cones and lava flows along a 10-kilometer wide axis. While most of these are relatively old and strongly eroded, a large young lava flow less than 10,000 years old on its northwest side is evidence that the volcano is active. And this just shows the earthquakes that have occurred. So we can see that there has been a 4.7, a 4.6, a 4.5, a 4.4, and a 5.7 all today. So this one here is Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. This one here is Addis Ababa. So all of these are Addis Ababa, the area. And this shows the earthquake. So apparently there was a 5.7 today, a 4.4, a 4.5, a 4.6, and a 4.7. All of those are earthquakes that have occurred today within this region. And these are the earthquakes that are being shown for this area. So What else can I tell you about this volcano? It's called Dofus Mountain, Afar region, Ethiopia. Dolphin is a 1,151 meter high stratovolcano that rises 450 meters above the Awash Plains in northern Maine, Ethiopia. This is the area closest to the ongoing seismic swarm of Ethiopia's Afar region, which we suspect to be caused by intrusion of magma. The embedded, okay, there's a video on here. I'm not going to play it. Dolphin's first volcanic eruption might be in the making. If indeed an eruption is to occur at Dolphin, it would be the first one of this volcano and known from historic sources. Dolphin is a 1,151 meter high stratovolcano that rises 450 meters above the Awash Plain. In northern Maine, Ethiopian rift. It has erupted frequently from fissures parallel to the rift axis and produced young lava flows and rows of cinder cones, similarly to Fentali volcano in the south, which earlier was a main suspect of seismic crisis. It would be indeed not entirely surprising if a volcanic activity takes place in Dolphin. The area near Dolphin has been known for its strong fumarolic activity, another indication that the volcano has been only dormant. And it also might be a result of exothermic chemical reactions taking place in saturated solutions coming into contact with suitably reactive materials. As an example of fountains of the deep, we expect that's where the ocean came. The gases, solutes, minerals, and rocks expelled should inform us of such regions. The whole area is very recent, having replaced the wedge that now forms southwest Yemen in its last greatest outgassing event. That's interesting. So, that's just a little bit of an update of what is going on in Ethiopia. It looks as though they may be getting ready to have an eruption. And this would be the first known one in history for this area here. So this is Dolphin. It's not very, very huge. Let's see if we can see it better on this one. So, let me see if I can find it. That's Emirates volcano. Let me see if I can find Dolphin. Let me do it this way. Instead of guessing where it is. Okay, so this is Dolphin here. Looks like the whole thing's Dolphin. Anywho, that's what I have for you guys on this volcano. And this is where one of the earthquakes has been occurring, is over here in Debu. Yep, there was a 4.5 earlier in Burundi. Let me see if I can find that one and we'll take a look at it as well. Okay, this is the 4.5 that was in Burundi. So we'll put this one in real quick. Burundi is over here. We can see where this one is located is in this area. And we have the continental rift boundary right here. So we can see that the rift boundary is moving. We have a road here with towns. Let's see if there's a view. There is no view. This is Salam here. And that is Kasanga, Burundi. So, I hope y'all have enjoyed the real quick update. That was a good island. I enjoyed that. Lilith Eden says, I'm playing a game and chilling in here. That's awesome. Happy New Year. Well, anyways, you guys, that ends the live stream for the day. I hope that you all are having a great Saturday or Sunday if you are in another part of the world. Morning, noon, or night. If you listen back on the video, you'll find out that I've been contemplating. I was busy for the last week, and I was actually contemplating whether I wanted to give up being a YouTuber or not, because I've been trying really, really hard to grow this channel, and you know, you can get frustrated really easily. So I am trying my hardest, and I'm going to keep with it for a little while. If you would like to support the channel, we do have a PayPal. YouTube is not paying me to make videos or to do anything, so any help given is appreciated. Also, I will tell you, one day I will absolutely not be streaming on the 25th. It is my birthday, and I'm going to take the day and enjoy myself. I will be a whole, if I put it 5 plus 5, I'll be 10. Yay! Oh, okay. I'll be 55. I thought it would sound easier that way. Anyways, you guys, I will see you all on Monday. Please remember to tell someone you love them. Tomorrow is never promised. Remember to make each day an adventure and to tell someone you love them. Anyways, you guys, I love you. George Mitchell, thank you for being here. Richard, thank you for being here. Greg D, I didn't get a chance to say hello, but hello, and thank you for being here. Lilith Eden, thank you for being here, and for everybody else who watched today and spent your time with me for an hour and a half, I appreciate you being here. Anyways, you guys, I love you. Remember to be good to yourselves and good to each other, and I will see you on the next one.